starts to develop between the 5th and 8th week of the developing embryo. It comes from the endodermal cells of the gut that are hidden between the ventral and dorsal layers of the mesentery. The section of the foregut where the pancreas develops is in the caudal section. So the pancreas develops in the caudal section of the foregut and is derived from endodermal cells between the ventral and dorsal layers of the mesentery. It is from these endodermal cells that they start to form their buds, that is, the dorsal and ventral pancreatic buds. Inside these buds, a network of tubules start forming, and each bud eventually carries a main duct. The dorsal bud starts to develop first. It starts to develop in response to activin and fibroblast growth factor signals that come from the notochord. It then grows more rapidly with a tendency towards a cranial direction within the layers of the dorsal mesentery. As it continues to grow, it forms the larger of the two pancreatic buds. The ventral pancreatic bud then starts to appear a little later and more slowly. It grows more slowly with an initial tendency towards a caudal direction within the layers of the ventral mesentery. The appearance of the ventral pancreatic bud occurs near the level at which the bile duct enters into the duodenum. By about week 7, something happens. Rotation starts to occur. This rotation is brought on by the duodenum in the developing embryo by week 7. Because the duodenum rotates at this stage, and because the ventral pancreatic bud grows near the vicinity of the rotating duodenum takes with it the ventral pancreatic bud in a C-shape forming direction. The ventral pancreatic bud now moves posteriorly to fuse with the dorsal pancreatic bud following the rotation. As the ventral pancreatic bud meets the dorsal pancreatic bud, their respective ducts then anastomose to form the pancreatic duct, which is the main outlet of the pancreas into the duodenum. The pancreatic duct is therefore derived from the duct of the ventral bud and the distal section of the duct of the dorsal bud. So what exactly happens to the proximal portion of the duct of the dorsal bud? This proximal portion of the duct may persist as the accessory pancreatic duct. By week 10, it is possible for the pancreas to start secreting insulin. Within the substance of the pancreatic tissue, there are two lineages of cells present: the pancreatic exocrine cells and the pancreatic endocrine cells. The pancreas can therefore execute both exocrine and endocrine functions. For the exocrine function, cell clusters develop around the ends of tubules, and these clusters go on to form the acini of the pancreas. These groups of acini are therefore formed with the duct to eventually form a secretory system that constitutes the exocrine portion of the pancreas. This involves the secretion of digestive enzymes such as amylase and carboxypeptidase. For the endocrine function, there are those cells that come directly from the tubules that then go on to form clusters some distance away from the groups of acini, and these cells are supported by a highly vascularized system. They exist in little islands scattered among the acini. These are the pancreatic islets or islets and constitute the endocrine portion of the pancreas. This involves cells that lead to the release of substances.